Hello, class, and welcome to another lovely recording. So, what we're looking at now, this time, I was trying to block out the names. That's really not happening here, but you don't know them, so no last names sort of don't narrow it down, I guess. But thank you to our volunteers for this ability to use this chart. So, uh, what I'm going to do is a little bit different. Can you hear me? Pull the mic a little bit closer. So what I'm going to do today is a little bit different. I'm going to go down here to this bottom part so I can show you guys how to read the text part. You need to know what is important in this area. So I've already let you know that North Node, is it going to let me highlight? Is it going to be a hater? So the North Node is the relationship's purpose. That is always the first thing that we look at when determining what is the main nature of this relationship. You can see this couple has their North Node at 29 degrees. 29 degrees is a critical degree as well as 0. That means that this is the end of a big lesson. At 0 degrees, this is the beginning of a big lesson. This typically means there are some crisis type things, big events that might happen in this relationship because of any time you see 29. You also see 29 here with the Neptune. So we got to look at where this Neptune is, where this cloud, this fog is, because that is what Neptune is in a chart. The sun of the relationship is in partnership, which is good to know. And it's very moved along. You can tell by the degrees of this relationship that lots of this is developed. That means that they have a past life connection. And that's what I want you guys to learn looking at today. Look at the degrees to see how far along it is. When something is between 1 and 10 degrees, it is at the beginning. Intermediate is, of course, the teens. And then through that whole thing of 20s, because it only goes up to 30, that is the maturity, the maturation. Can I say that? The growing upness, maybe, could even be the case. If you choose to use this site, AstroCharts, which I personally love, they include the aspects at the bottom. You would use the equations with this, like I taught you guys, as far as Jupiter squared Pluto. This means the ability to expand is blocked by their inability to transform. So what you would do with this, with these sort of setups, is you would look at where's their Jupiter. So their ability to expand into a domestic partnership, in growth and self-expression, is blocked by transformation in self-expression. That's funny. I'm sorry, I'm always geeked about these things. As you can see, these work together. Jupiter is probably aspecting their Mercury. What that means is this relationship has levels to it. It is meant to take on two forms, two different energies. You see this sometimes with the relationship where the couple starts off really good, and then later down the line, they're really confused with what went wrong. And try to have a level of delicacy when you're actually doing this reading. I'm a little bit more dry now because I know this is being used for a class, although I am aware that the client will be looking over this and is having a relationship with this person, and of course that's important. So the first thing I would say, if I was treating this like a regular client reading, going into this and going into your own, this North Node is in Scorpio in the 6th house. That means that the South Node is in the 12th house in the sign of Taurus. That automatically means that this is a karmic relationship. Anything in the 12th house relates to karma and your past life, especially with their South Node here. So this means that this was a couple who used to be together every day of their lives. The moon for their relationship, the heart, the inspiration is still in Taurus in the 12th house. That means at some point in their past lives, they brought each other peace. This also could have been gluttony, greed, just either way, the relationship was really, what's the word I want to use for this? I'm trying to find, it was just really, it could have been peaceful, honestly. I'm looking at Saturn there, which means that there was a restriction on this, that she wasn't allowed to have this relationship or step into this level of her karma until after 35. And you always got to look at the age of the client, because some of this stuff like adds in. That totally matters. Sorry, guys. I got distracted. I was looking at all these chart stuff. So, all right. The North Node is in Scorpio, which means that they came to be in each other's life on a day-to-day basis this time, but until they learn how to let go of control and possessiveness, and everything that is caused by the last lifetime where they were so free and wild. Maybe they didn't get to stay together last life because of that. And this life is more about merging their energies. Because keep in mind, Scorpio is all about being so intense with one another. It's like two becoming one, merging energy. And they have Uranus, which is the planet of radical change, in the sign of Sagittarius at the other side of the cusp. That means this relationship is meant to go from something that's maybe secretive, based on sex, even could be the case with Venus here in Scorpio, just very lusty even. But that's meant to change to something to more of a free, optimistic, free-flowing nature. With them having Sagittarius in the 7th house, because you always want to assess for marriage. That's typically what people are looking for when they have relationship readings. With Sagittarius in 7th, I usually say that's a couple that wants to be free. This is something that's more open. With them having Neptune here as well, this connects directly back to this 12th house, the fact that this relationship is karmic, and Neptune puts sort of a fog over this. So will they get married? That's not exactly clear. That has to do with if they are able to handle this 12th house energy, the fact that there is a restriction in their relationship for the sake of their careers, as well as their feelings are sort of, they don't speak their emotions because they are here in the sunken place of the 12th house. The Gemini is also there, which means their words. There are a lot of things that they don't say to each other that could be the undoing of this relationship. But this relationship is a Gemini ascendant. What does that mean? That means that they came to communicate. This came to be a teacher-student type thing. They're learning from one another. With Chiron being a Gemini there, this is once again a sign that they have a wound in their words. There's something that is not being said there that needs to be said that could potentially be a detriment to this relationship. With Cancer at the end of this cusp, this is mothering energy that could also be something that's forefront, a deep caring for one another. And that leads to the 2nd house, which is what they value, the care for one another, the home, the comfort that they bring to one another. That is meant to change into that Leo energy of more self-expression, more fun, more lightheartedness, where their relationship is meant to multiply, to expand, because they take on something new other than what they're having. It seems like this relationship started off one way completely and has to turn into something completely different. With their communication and their Mars and Leo, this means that all their passion is in their dramatics, so to speak, but in their words. It could also be in their fashion, because Leo is about fashion, but also about the way they connect with one another when out in the world. Other people would look to them for inspiration, maybe stylist inspiration. People like looking at them together. This is the social couple. People like being around them, and they sort of enjoy the energy of others as well with this going on here. With Virgo at the 3rd of that house, there might be a tendency to overanalyze with one another, saying, and not getting to the bottom of it, because that leads to the 4th house of home, what foundation they would have if they had a house together. This is somebody who's really good with teamwork, but health, fitness, nutrition, just they're really good at helping each other be their best. And that would be the foundation of their home and their relationship. Now, at the end of that cusp is Libra, which means that they would have balance. This leads to the 5th house. We know the 5th house is all about self-expression, communication, children, creativity, entertainment. This is where the sun of this relationship is. So this is also the house of casual sex, flings, datings, and one-on-one relationships. With Libra being here, this is a partnership that is made for dating, because you always want to look at Libra. You want to look at what's in their 7th house. Where is the Mercury, which rules Libra, and see where those areas sort of deposit themselves. With the sun being here, this is a dating relationship. This is about learning how to balance, learning how to be a partner. With the Mercury here, this is definitely a learning experience for both. This Pluto here means that eventually there's going to be a transformation in the relationship. And as we read earlier, remember this Pluto squares this right here. So there's something about their expression and some secrets that is being blocked here. There's a lot of things that this couple needs to say to each other that they don't exactly, that sort of change the energy from partnership and balance to some seedy stuff over here, which leads to the seedy stuff on a regular basis, because the Scorpio in the 6th house means on a day-to-day basis, there might be power struggles, financial struggles, all those sort of things. So it feels like this starts off as a free wheeling relationship and goes to something way tighter, and then has to come back around to freedom, to letting go to letting go of control. So you also got to look at the MC. How are they known to the world? Well, with that being Pisces, that's sort of an illusion. Like maybe other people don't know about this relationship here, because with that midheaven and Pisces, that's about music, that's about film, and this is how they're seen to the world. But this is like dreamlike, imagination, fantasy. But you got to keep it in context of a relationship. There are just so many, and once again, we have to keep in mind. Remember, this top of the chart is for things that affect outside of us, out in the world, and how we affect the world. And this part is about one-on-one relationships and self and how they mold us. This relationship is definitely about molding the main chart holders' ideas about relationship, how to conduct oneself in them, how to have a healthy relationship, and to clear up any old karma they have based on what happened the last time around. This is definitely a karmic relationship that, if the past karmic issues of not putting in enough effort and not speaking enough are balanced and passion is really given from both ends, this could definitely go somewhere. But if not, this is a relationship that is meant to end with both people learning some really great, serious lessons, having great sex, and then moving forward and taking everything they learned to the future, to other relationships. So this is what you would do with this type of chart, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. Let me know if you have any questions.